where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Transformers fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. Today we are reviewing the new Super 7 Ultimates Transformers Alligaticon from Generation 1. This is a figure I have been very excited about because it's an Optimus Prime figure without being an Optimus Prime figure, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is the Alligaticon is technically an Optimus Prime figure because it's made out of Optimus Prime's parts. So if you've ever seen the Generation 1 episode where the Decepticons take over New York to build a new Cybertronian city in place of New York, well, they captured Optimus Prime, disassembled him, and found new uses for his parts, the majority of which were used to build an alligator, which was very, very cool. But it's strange that we haven't had one sooner because we've had other alligator figures in Transformers in between then and now. Even in Generation 1, and as much as Hasbro loves to do repaints for figures, and with some of the wild repaints that Hasbro and Takara both got into during the Titans Return era, especially since they released a new Skull Cruncher figure then, I did find it odd we didn't get an Alligaticon back then too, even if it had an Optimus Prime head or didn't have an Optimus Prime head. But I always thought that Titans Return Skull Cruncher would have been a good fit for an Alligaticon repaint at some point. Maybe slight remold. Some of it needed to be changed, but it wasn't enough to where it would have been difficult to do. Or at least that's how I see it. Anyway, here is the outer sleeve. So we got in metallic blue the Alligaticon's outline right there on the front. On the side, you've got Alligaticon written. On this side, you've got Decepticon written because this is, while it was built out of Optimus's parts, it's not an Autobot. And on the back, you've got a nice metallic blue Decepticon symbol. That's pretty much it for the outer sleeve. And there you have the sleeve pulled up. There's the Alligaticon, there's Optimus Prime's head, there's his ion blaster, there's the tip of the tower where they mounted Optimus Prime's weapon arm to use as a turret, which I thought was also kind of cool and creative. And up top we have one of the taxis that the Decepticons just hijacked, put a remote unit on in order to fight, once again, humans or Autobots. While they weren't super effective, I mean, they were just mindless drones in order to deter, really. And on the back, you've got some tech spec readouts of Alligaticon. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. And here he is out of the packaging. And he looks so great. I love this figure so very much. Like a lot of the other Super 7 Ultimates that I've picked up so far, this is exactly what I hoped it would be. And more. Because, I mean, I would have been happy with just this. This was enough to get me, you know. And then they went ahead and did the other pieces too, as well, which I really love. And like other figures in the Super 7 Ultimates, it's fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint right here. It's a nice big ball joint. You've got this ball joint right here. You've got the tail on a ball joint right here. Tail on a ball joint right here, here, and one more right here. So you get a lot of good posability out of that tail as well. I love that the pipes, his smokestacks, are right here at the tail like they were in the cartoon. I like how you've got his chest window here and here, like in the cartoon. You got the little spines going up his back and his tail. Arms and legs look good. Those eyes look really good. The mouth does open and close, although his jaw's looking a little wonky right now. But His mouth does open and close. And you've got shoulder articulation, elbow articulation, wrist articulation, hip articulation, knee articulation. It was a little stiff, a little tough there. Ankle articulation, and yeah, there's not a spot on this figure where I feel as though they skimped out on the articulation at all. It's as articulated as I feel it needs to be or hoped it could have been, and he looks great. Now, I would like to have seen some Decepticon symbols on him, or at least maybe even one of Optimus's Autobot symbols, but as I recall, you don't really see any visible factional symbols on this guy at all at any point in the cartoon, so it's not inaccurate not to include them. I'm only saying it because I feel as though it just would have been kind of cool to, you know, have them at least sneak one on here somewhere. Not that they needed to. I'm just saying it would have been fun. But regardless, he looks really good. For comparison, here he is next to the other Alligaticon we got in Generation 1. Here is Skull Cruncher, and this is the Titans Return release. And I love how comparable they are in size. The Optimus Alligaticon is just a bit bigger than Skull Cruncher, but it's not by much. It's not a significant size difference. He still scales well in comparison to Skull Cruncher, which I also really like. Next, we also have Optimus Prime's severed head here, which is also on a ball joint, meaning you could swap this out with the other Super 7's Ultimate Optimus Prime if you like the head that this one comes with better, especially since if you look right here on the back, you'll notice a little cover right there, and that's because the eyes, I don't know if it's pulling up on the camera or not, have light piping in them, so that's what that is right there. That's a bit of translucent plastic so that the eyes can have the light piping effect for when in the cartoon, when the Autobots found Optimus Prime's head, they would just like connect this little wire strand from down here up to his temple, and that would reactivate his head enough for him to work with his Autobots or assist his Autobots as much as he could, because he could still telepathically, or I assume since they're cybernetic organisms through like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, obviously, control his limbs in pieces, which is how they kind of wrestled the Alligaticon, and also how they wrestled his firing arm, his main arm, from the top of this tower from shooting at the Autobots who would try to approach it. Now, this is pretty hollow. I mean, it's a tower top with an arm attached to it. It's kind of what I expected. I wasn't thinking Super 7 was going to build a whole, you know, building just for this bit. I mean, it'd be cool if you do Super 7. I'm just saying, that'd be an awesome playset. You know, like Snake Mountain or the Cat's Lair that y'all just did. If y'all want to do a Transformers playset with a big Decepticon tower, I'm interested. I'm interested in that. Just saying. But what's really cool is, just like a Super 7 Ultimates figure, just like the Super 7 Ultimates Optimus Prime, in fact, they just used the arm mold that they had for that figure and just attached the socket to this hollow tower here. So the arm is still fully articulated like the regular Super 7 Ultimates Optimus Prime figure, which I think is very hilarious. Now, I didn't bring that with me today. I kind of wish I did, because now I'm thinking, how funny would it be if I take his shooting arm and make it his shooting arm? And by that I mean swap the hand out, put the basketball holding hand on here, and then just put the basketball from the regular Super 7 Optimus in his hand, so his shooting arm is his, you know, shooting arm. It's just a little funny idea I had, a little silly. Who knows? Maybe it'll make it into the pictures later. We'll find out. Stay tuned. But anyway, really love that, and I love that it's fully articulated just like the figure is itself. Now, there is one more accessory. I already mentioned it. Here's one of those cool little taxi cabs that the Decepticons hijacked and, mounted weapons and stuff too, to stop Autobots or any humans who tried to, do anything funny in the Decepticons' newly acquired city. It says taxi on the side. You got that little bit mounted up. The windows are painted in. The lights, the tail lights are painted, which look really nice. You got the wheels here. They don't roll. It's static. It's all one solid piece here. It's nothing super special, really. It's about the size of a Hot Wheel, but it's still a cool little accessory. Honestly, I feel as though it should be a little bit bigger, though, because it shouldn't be this tiny. It's not exactly in scale, even by comparison to the other Super 7 Ultimates pieces we've got. It should be closer to the size of Alligaticon, at least the size of the body. So really, as cool as this was a little pack-in accessory, it's the least exciting accessory. It's also the least accurate accessory due to the size of it. But I'm not complaining because this is what we were buying. We've spent the $50, $60 for this guy, not a little static taxi cab. So that's why I'm not complaining about this so much. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's review featuring the new Transformers Super 7 Ultimates Alligaticon. I really hope that Super 7 continues to pursue these awesome, unique characters that appeared in Generation 1 that don't transform, or at least didn't transform on screen, and characters that have never gotten official action figures before. Yes, there's been some cool third-party stuff out there. There's even a third-party Alligaticon out there, but here we cover official licensed product through Transformers, unless it's like a very, very special or rare exception. And this is awesome. The third-party one transforms. This is not a transformer. This is a drone built by the Decepticons and was properly released as such. I genuinely don't think Super 7 could have done this figure any better than they did. They nailed it. It is a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Super 7, great job. I love it. Thank you so much for putting this out there. And thank you for actually getting it to us, because I'm not going to lie, I was getting a little worried there. And this is my favorite figure out of the line so far because of how unique this is. Hasbro had plenty of opportunities to get us an Alligaticon. They had an opportunity to even make it transform and chose not to, surprisingly enough. Because like I said, Takara and Hasbro were doing some interesting things during Titan's return. They made some Headmaster characters that had no business being Headmaster characters, and didn't make a lot of characters that kind of made sense in the Titan's return line that, well, obviously didn't get made, right? So it's weird that we hadn't gotten an Alligaticon sooner, but I'm glad we finally have him. Guys, stay tuned for more Transformers reviews. Like and subscribe and follow us on social media. Check out our sister website, cooltoyreview.com, and like and subscribe to the Cool Toy Review YouTube channel for more awesome toy reviews and other video content. If you're looking for some awesome action figures and merch, come by our physical location inside Order 66 Multiverse in the shops at Willowbend Mall in Plano, Texas, which also houses Order 66 Toys, the world's official all-collectible Star Wars toy store. And in case you're not local, Order 66 goes live every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central Time on the Order 66 Toys Facebook page, and they ship all around the world. Speaking of Star Wars, check out our other sister website, rebelscum.com, the world's oldest and largest Star Wars fan website not owned by Disney. And rebelscum.com, as I mentioned, is the oldest Star Wars fan website in the world. It's been around for almost 30 years. And in that nearly 30-year-long history, they are hosting the first official Rebel Scum Con, coming June 27th through the 30th in the heart of North Texas at the Allen Convention Center. You can book your experience today at rebelscumconventions.com. Once again, that's rebelscumconventions.com. And last but not least, check out our free archival website, collectorsoracle.com, which Doesn't have any Super 7 on there yet, but we may have started discussions about adding some Super 7 lines and collectibles to Collector's Oracle in the future, so stay tuned. Hopefully it'll be soon. But regardless, Collector's Oracle is up. There's a lot of cool Star Wars toy lines you can manage your collection with, and the best part is it's all absolutely free. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Transform and roll out.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.